let's talk about GameStop, Rise of
Yes.
the Players.
I did not get a chance to see this movie. My screener expired on me. So,
You
so
okay,
you're in on this
I
one.
saw GameStop Rise of the Players.
Yeah.
GameStop, if you are a customer, like I have been a customer of GameStop for years, mostly I buy used stuff. I buy used stuff. It's cheaper. It's cheaper. You know, I go there, I'll trade stuff in and I get the credit. So there you go. But GameStop Rise of the Players is actually about the GameStop stocks and the shorting of the stocks that was done by these big funds, these hedge funds, right?
Mhm.
They're trying to short the stock, and these fans of GameStop kind of banded together to buy a ton of the stock, and they all ended up, there's like 20 of them, 20 or more of these people who end up becoming multimillionaires over it. It's an amazing David versus Goliath story, right? Like just these individual investors going against Wall Street. So it's got that aspect to it. And it shows kind of how they built this phenomenon and built GameStop, you know, using things like memes, using live streams like this, but that only like 10 people were watching, right? And it goes into each of the different people who invested and how they had this belief that GameStop is going to come back, right? And a lot of it was proven out with the new game systems, right? The next generation game systems, the new Xbox and the PS5. That and what they were betting on is that it would have a you know, you'd be able to use discs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they use discs, which means that if it was digital only, that what's the point of retail at that point, right?
Yeah.
But because the PS5 and the new Xbox, they have options to purchase a disc version. And that means that the secondary market, which is why GameStop survives, is still viable. So these investors gathered together and they took out these hedge fund people. What I like is, which I'm completely incapable of articulating to you now, but if you watch this documentary, you'll see like exactly how shorting a stock works, how this strategy can be successful, and they show how so much of this was spread was with memes and a lot of language that we, you know, the average person wouldn't understand. I didn't understand before I watched the documentary. One of it is diamond hands, which diamond hands is you're going to hold the stock. No matter what you do, you hold the stock. Even if you see like the price dropping, right? Everyone says buy the dip, right? Buy the dip.
Yeah.
Like they're like, no, I got diamond hands. I'm not going to let go of this stock. So they explain what each of these terms mean. They show memes. So they're like this whole language, which like I say, I didn't get until having watched the doc. Now I feel like I at least have some understanding of it. It was really inspiring. It was just inspiring to see how these people sort of, they built this portfolio and then they just got out and all became rich. And it's also like, it's this beloved brand, right? Like, I mean, look, I grew up going to GameStop. I grew up going there and buying a lot of different game systems. I remember buying the PlayStation 1. Remember the first first PlayStation that I bought it there, you know, like, I mean, it was one of those things you put down. The other thing is that, like, you know, GameStop, what I always loved about GameStop is if you pre-purchased it there, you would generally get a code to get additional content, right? And sometimes what you could do is just keep the additional content and then cancel your pre-order. I know I never did that, but I knew people who did that, which I thought was BS. Yes, don't do that.
Yeah, hacking the system.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I really love the doc. Strongly recommend it. It's, if you are a GameStop, you know, if you're a fan, if you're a gamer, this documentary is incredibly inspiring. So,
is it more for the gamer or the investor?
It's both. It really covers both, because what I love about it is it actually took all the language of investing and simplified it. And then it also showed you, like, you know, you see these memes with apes, right? Your ape investor, like they explain what all of that means, all the memes, which, you know, I don't know. Yeah. I really appreciate. Well, so strongly recommend. It was in theaters. I think it may still, in fact,
be. No, I think it actually comes out It either came out
No,
last
no, no.
weekend
It's
or
in
it's coming
theaters.
out
It
this
came out
weekend.
last week.
Yeah,
So it came out last week.
This is the part of story that it's the story itself. I've not seen the doc, but I know the story. But it was this idea that that the stock market, the hedge funds, the corporate investors are way too large, and that there's a small group that was able to take them down and hurt them. And I don't. Do they talk about the retaliation? How the government and how Wall
Yeah.
Street were able to
Yeah.
shut down the ability to trade on GameStop
Yeah.
and AMC. AMC was also a part of this.
Well, yeah, but they talk about like Robinhood and how Robinhood kind of screwed over investors, which was awful. But yeah, they get into all of that, and it's like, look, it's the government is evil, and these hedge fund investors are evil, and this was finally the little people getting the best of them. So it's a great story. I do believe it's on video on demand and in theaters and limited release. So strongly recommend it.